Hi, my name is Lisa Finaldi. I'm the Community Engagement Leader for the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation. Today we're going to be talking about how family-friendly workplaces allow earlier and more strategic reopening of your business or retooling of your business during COVID. Next. So Family Forward is an innovative initiative that we started in 2018 to work with business leaders across North Carolina to understand how family-friendly workplaces, both big ones and small ones, really do increase your productivity, your retention, your recruitment of the best talent, help grow a strong economy, and most important for my organization, support the healthy development of children. Next. So the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation is focused on policies and practices for children aged birth to 8 to ensure that they have a strong foundation for lifelong health, education, and well-being. Next slide. So just step back a minute and think about why the ages of birth through 8 matter so much. Well, we say brains are built, they're not born. This period is the most rapid development of the human brain. In fact, early experiences that children are having are built into their bodies, and that really shapes that brain architecture. So even in the period of birth to age 1, your vision, your sensory, also your academic and socioeconomic, okay, I messed that up, we're starting over. Hi, my name is Lisa Finaldi. I'm the Community Engagement Leader for the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation. Today we're going to be talking about how family-friendly workplaces allow earlier and more strategic reopening as a result of COVID-19. Family Forward is an initiative of the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation. We've been working with business leaders across North Carolina for 2 years to engage them around how research-based family-friendly practices and policies can increase workplace productivity, support the recruitment and retention of the best talent, help grow a strong economy for our state, and most importantly for my organization's work, support children's healthy development. So the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation has a bold vision. We envision that each child in our state has a strong foundation for lifelong health, education, and well-being. And our focus is on policies and practices during the ages birth to 8. So taking a step back, why birth through 8 is so important. We say that brains are built, they're not born. This is the most rapid development of the human brain. Early experiences are built into a child's body, and that really shapes your brain architecture. In fact, in those early years, the first year of life, your sensory, your vision, your social and emotional health, these are all building at a rapid pace during that period of time. And we know that that end of grade test in 3rd grade, many of you as parents know about it, is a predictor of both academic achievement and career success. So by supporting children in these early years, you are supporting the workforce of tomorrow. So part of our program is to talk with you about how these family-friendly benefits can help you open earlier and with a more strategic advantage. The other 2 listed on the slide are other programs that we offer after this one. So we're calling our COVID response program Rapid Response. And this program is in partnership with HR experts from Performentor, and we have 3 areas of work with them. We have a 3-part webinar series. This is webinar 1, and the other 2 are about bringing your employees back earlier and more fully. And the 3rd one is about how to create a culture of ongoing safety for workers and families. Then there's a companion kit that goes with it. And this helps you with tools and resources so that you can begin to plan to reopen or retool with family workplace benefits. And finally, you'll be able to work directly with our HR team to implement these practices. So we've got a great team at Performentor. We have Amy, Amanda, and Jim. Amy Rawls' background is as an executive HR leader. She also provides guidance to businesses when they need to look at the balance and constraints so that they can, over time, build family-friendly workplaces. Amanda has a background in behavior science, and this is very important right now when we look at workplace safety and what families are dealing with at home with regard to safety as well. We want employees to come to work healthy and go home healthy. And then Jim Needell, who is with us today, has 25 years of experience in hospitality in both operations and HR. So we're just going to have a quick check-in. What are one or two words that best described the impact on you or your business during COVID? So a lot of your answers are truly about stress, worry, some excitement and curiosity about the program today. These are all normal, obviously, and we see opportunities to work with you as you think through the reopening or retooling of your business. And then just a few seconds on the impacts on manufacturing. You know many of these, but when we look across the country, we see that most manufacturers have made adjustments because of COVID. And more than half of them have new emergency preparedness plans. Now, about a third of them have decreased employee hours, and only a third are actually planning to help families with childcare. And if any of you have children right now, whether they're of preschool age or younger or school grade children, you recognize that attempting to do your work and care for your children and teach your children can be a very difficult task. And the impacts on children and families are real. We see that the experience coming from a decline in income, where 2/3 of our families in the country have experienced that, leads to stress and a deterioration of mental health. We also see children also having mental health issues because their lack of social time and learning in the classroom, which is far different from spending most of your time with your family. We don't have policies in our country that are really supporting families as much as they should. Even before COVID, these were areas that needed improvement. So we have a health crisis and we have a caregiver crisis. We also have scheduling issues that really have to be taken into account, and recognizing the emotional health of our employees right now. We have to pay attention to that so they come back to work fully and present. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jim. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Hello, everybody. My name is Jim Needell, and I'm going to take us through some of the changes and what the manufacturing industry may look like moving forward. There are some really high-level strategic operating shifts for the industry, and we need to know what are going to be the key takeaways and how to move forward. So new products need to remain a major source of revenue. Many times it's equal to the pre-COVID production levels. There's a company called Nutrabricks that changed gears and started making masks. They pivoted within 2 weeks. Also, physical layouts are going to have to change, primarily due to social distancing and maintaining the safety of our employees. Business continuity planning is going to be important, as well as supply chain and sourcing of new raw materials. And labor cost drivers at 30% of our revenue are not going to be able to be sustained if our operating income remains low. The people side of the business is where we'll see most of the change and where we'll focus our attention today. Good and bad, this industry will look and feel much different. Workforce demands identifies a skill gap, turnover will become an issue, and a communication strategy will be needed. With the average worker in manufacturing being 56 years old, this impacts both the pending skill gap and potentially higher turnover. And this traditional soft cost of hiring, training and retraining and retaining your employees has been so difficult over the years to quantify. But moving forward, we're going to need to quantify it and make it a hard line item on the profit and loss statement. When you think about it, this may very well be the only variable cost to help our operating margins. Internal communication will be key for a number of reasons beyond just the evolving pandemic knowledge and protecting our employees. We've had a lot of success creating communication strategies that look at how to communicate, when to communicate, what mediums to use with your workforce. Employees are informed and appreciate it, and managers don't need to think about it. And lastly, COVID has accelerated the digital transformation that's already begun in manufacturing. The industry has responded. Most, 60% of organizations are working to improve the paid leave and PTO policies. More than half of businesses are restricting activities at their facilities. And there's been a definite increase in business continuity plannings. Much more over the long haul. Nobody expected to be shut down for so long in many of the emergency plans. And there's been a significant increase in requests about information for employee assistance programs, what we call EAPs. So you're in good company, and simply by being here today, you'll learn the best, most efficient and cost-effective ways to offer your employees family-friendly benefits, which ultimately is going to ease their return back to work. Think about it. Your employees are not only coping with COVID, many have been left unprepared to handle this pandemic, which has become painfully obvious by the strain on our economy. And we know you feel it too. So whether you're in steel fabrication, heavy equipment manufacturing, food processing, wholesale distribution, or any other inventory-based business, we can help provide insight into your challenges and offer assistance. And employee needs are changing. Interestingly enough, this psychological contract between employers and workers has not changed for many years. The model has been hire for fit and train the required skills, develop employees through training programs, and then try to promote from within. But employee preferences are radically changing because of this pandemic, and the manufacturing industry is going to need to respond. And many of these new preferences are now millennial-based, changing the dynamic and demographics of your workforce. And flexible scheduling will be key for our new workforce and is a family-friendly practice that we'll talk about in a little bit. So this new generation of workers, research shows that to new employees, benefits often outweigh compensation. 76% of employees say they would likely accept a job with less compensation in order to obtain a better benefits package. So how should a manufacturing business go about designing employee benefits that are not only competitive, but spot on when it comes to meeting the needs of the multi-generational and multicultural workforce that we're going to be employing? Well, how we do it is by benefits benchmarking. And we look at it by industry, by region, and by size of the business. What's also critical is keeping a watchful eye over the benefit packages of other local employers who are also aggressively hiring. So you'll want to stand out as an employer that values its employees, and how you do that is by offering superior benefit packages. Also, many manufacturing turnover problems are attributed to employee experience and rewards. One suggestion we have is to add a total reward statement. This outlines in detail an employee's direct and indirect compensation, and sometimes you'll hear that called a hidden paycheck. So I know your initial thoughts, when you hear all of this, you're thinking, how can we possibly afford this when our capacity has been cut in half? The answer is really you cannot afford not to do it, but that's why we're here to help. So how do we provide affordable healthcare and wellness benefits? We'll show you that over the next couple slides, but really think about this as a competitive advantage with regards to the future of work. We'll also talk about new staffing models and family forward benefits that can be offered at a minimal cost and in some cases cost neutral implementation. And during our one-on-one consulting, if you apply, we can help map out a process that takes small steps so it's not so overwhelming. Let's talk about some of these family forward practices. Within these 6 categories, which can be found on the Family Forward North Carolina Research Guide, there are 16 policies or practices that we can help you implement. So let's talk about a couple. Paid leave. We cannot afford to have our workers coming into your operation feeling sick because they can't afford to miss a day's pay. We need to incentivize them not to come to work when they're sick, because there's just too much risk getting coworkers sick and ultimately shutting down your business. Flexible work. Creative scheduling will be necessary and may in part help your labor costs. Some businesses have considered adding a 3rd shift and closing an extra day, minimizing employee contact. Then we have predictive scheduling. We really need to be acutely aware of the ramifications on parents today dealing with childcare challenges, and now virtual school. So what are the barriers to a consistent work week? Then there's health and wellness. A creative approach will help you retain your staff. It's that simple. And technology has increased our options. Think about telemed. And then childcare, as we just heard, is the #1 issue facing us today in North Carolina. But from simply changing your attendance policy to lessen childcare-related absences, to helping locate and subsidize even emergency drop-in care at a local facility will make a very large difference with your employees. And we have many case studies that illustrate some of the creative ways employees are helping their employees meet their childcare needs. And those again can be found on the Family Forward North Carolina website. So take a minute and just think about which 2 of these that we've just spoke about will have the most impact on your employees. Again, we can help. Family-friendly benefits can help recruit new employees. The key message here is we want to hire employees that want to work for you versus need to work for you. There will be more people for fewer jobs in the competition for talent. So what low-cost additions can you make that will have a strong appeal with tomorrow's workforce? What is it about your value package that will keep your employees from leaving you? If you think about what the average manufacturer worker has just been through, has the definition of loyalty changed? I think so. Considering accruing paid leave as part of a PTO package, affordable health benefits, or childcare is an opportunity that will give you a competitive edge. And Performentor can design a customized staffing model tool utilizing your specific labor needs and costs to determine a labor cost point that allows for maximum amount of staffing at the lowest cost. You are going to need to have the ability for ample coverage to support the challenges that your employees will continue to face post-COVID. Part-time work in manufacturing falls into 3 general areas. There's short-term jobs, which are usually found when production is lower and we have to cut hours, so it begins as involuntary part-time. Retention jobs for valued employees whose life circumstances prevent them from working full-time. That's going to become very important when you think about your workforce being 56 years of age on average. We can't let all those folks go. It may be a good opportunity to work some of them at a part-time schedule, which will also help employees with childcare challenges. Then you have your secondary jobs, which I think have the most negative connotation of all. But this implies a cost-saving opportunity to your business and fits well with our new labor workforce. So I see this as an opportunity, as part-time employees in the manufacturing is only about 10% compared to other industries, such as hospitality is at 90% part-time workers. Some examples that we've seen from other clients, what they've done is staggered staffing options. They've adjusted their full-time, part-time mix. Some of them are scheduling 4 10-hour shifts. There's a lot of cross-training going on and job sharing models. And some have even created a permanent shorter shift to accommodate employees with childcare challenges. We absolutely understand that many of these examples and recommendations that we're talking about will cause additional work and effort on your manager's parts. But we also have to understand that it will never be the same again, and nor should it, which will also include the savings of costs associated with that 33% turnover. So let's talk about predictive scheduling. In the past, many businesses would post a work schedule Thursday for the following week. In today's environments, the work schedule, especially for non-exempt folks, needs to be 3 to 4 weeks out. Moving forward, many of your employees are going to have multiple part-time jobs. So let's look how you can utilize a predictive scheduling model as a competitive advantage. Many of these are low cost, and these are the benefits. Employee coverage for peak times of business. You won't run your shift short. Employee turnover should go down. You'll have the ability to cross-train your folks to do multiple jobs. You'll also have a very strong employment brand in the market. And enough staff to avoid blackout times or cover vacations or for protected leave. So throughout the program, we'll look at each of these items more closely and help you determine common drivers that will best support your business. In the past, we determined the ratio of full-time to part-time employees by who applied and their availability. In the future work, this model needs to be driven by your business needs. Let me give you an example of a business that's already doing this. We have a client named Automated Solutions, manufacturing business with about 75 employees in Caldwell County. They started offering healthcare for the first time for their employees at the end of 2019, and 50 employees elected coverage. There were stories that came out that were previously unknown by the employer. By offering health benefits, many of the employees were now able to pay for insulin and other life-saving medicine. The new healthcare offered for team members and their families allowed employees to be healthier and makes them more able and ready to work. By the way, the 50 employees that selected coverage is well above the industry standard, which should tell you something. Look for this to become a published family forward case study in the near future. And by offering these types of benefits to their employees, it also positions Automated Solutions to apply for the Employer of the Choice Award in the county. So why are other reasons to add the expensive health benefits to your employees? Well, it's an excellent retention tool. Healthier families mean less time away from work and a more focused employee. And it's the right thing to do when it matters. We talk a lot about paid sick leave. Paid sick leave is so critical now and will continue to be so moving forward. And the benefits are rich for parents and for employers, and very much needed by our employees in manufacturing. By offering paid sick leave, you'll avoid many downstream effects. It's a difference of being proactive versus reactive when it comes to your employees and customers. We simply cannot have employees coming to work when they're sick. The Family Forward North Carolina Research Guide has some really good information about these family-friendly benefits and how to implement them. And part of participating today, you'll also have access to our online communities to learn from your peers. When we talk about the future of work, we need to explore what benefits will resonate for employees and provide the best options for you, especially if we're going to be looking at expanding our part-time workforce. So paid leave, we believe this is going to be the price of entry. Accident care or catastrophic insurance, this will help your employees sleep through the night. Don't take my word for it, ask them. And then a service like telemed only costs about $20 per employee per month. The future of employee assistance plans are going to grow and become much more popular and important to your employees moving forward. The current EAP costs as little as $25 per employee per year, and typically is the least used benefit offered. That will change. What do you think this would do for reducing your turnover? And lastly, don't forget about free perks. Get creative here. It's an extensive list of what you can do, from community projects to discounts for gym memberships. There's a lot of options, and you should take advantage of those as well. Now I'm going to turn it back to Lisa to take us through our Family Forward Return to Work Kit.
Thanks, Jim. I hope you've seen how these benefits are not only important to you, but also important to your employees and their children. Part of our rapid response program is to create these return to work kits. And we have one for manufacturing and also another for the hospitality industry. And these are just a few of the slides that really show you what's on there. There's all kinds of tools that can help you think through what program is right for you. And this tells you just a little bit of what's in the guide. So tactical action planning. You can see how you can assess your readiness. You can define your plans. As Jim mentioned, communication is so critical to effective planning, how you'll work with your employees, and also build that culture of communication. And also establish a very clear process for safety. And then also it comes to what are the family-friendly benefits that I can add as a result of my tactical action planning. So by participating today in this webinar 1, you will have access to the family-friendly return to work kit that I mentioned earlier. You'll also have a plan through the kits to review and customize what your benefits can look like. Webinars 2 and 3 are going to be pre-recorded, and you will get those as well. And also you have a very simple application if you'd like to work for up to 3 hours with our consulting team at no cost to you. We're looking for businesses that are willing, ready, and eager and highly motivated to make change. So if you go to our familyforwardnc.com website, you will see the guide, of which Jim showed you just a small piece of what's out there for you with regard to research-based practices and policies. Also, you can sign up for our bi-monthly newsletter, and there will be a location on the site where you can look for the return to work page on the website, and that would give you another opportunity to apply for the one-on-one support. There's a limited number of one-on-one supports that we can give, so I would encourage you, if you're interested, to please apply as soon as possible. And finally, I'd really like to thank our sponsors of the program. So BlueCross and BlueShield of North Carolina and the North Carolina Institute of Medicine are our main sponsors for the program. And also, as part of the Rapid Response Plan, the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina has been an excellent partner with us. And as I mentioned earlier, all of this work is being done under my organization, the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope we've sparked your interest and how you might be able to make some changes to your programming. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.